A Hungarian puzzle shows up. Meet Erno Rubik. He designed buildings and taught design. He lived in Budapest, which is the main city in Hungary. This was back in the 1970s, a really cool time for new ideas. Erno really loved shapes and figuring out how things fit together in 3D. He often thought about new ways to see how things are built. He wanted to make something super cool. His first thought was to make something to help his students learn, like a fun puzzle for them. He probably had no idea his little invention would become famous all over the world. Wow, what a cool and kind of accidental way for a simple idea to start. It was spring in 1974. Erno was working in his mum's apartment in Budapest. He spent a lot of time playing around with stuff like wooden blocks and rubber bands. His main goal was to make a special kind of shape. He wanted the little pieces of this shape to be able to move on their own. They needed to twist and turn without the whole thing falling apart. Think about trying to do that with just simple stuff. Sounds pretty tricky, right? He was trying to solve a tricky building problem, not make a toy. The very first one he made that worked was out of wood. It was a little rough compared to the smooth plastic ones we have now. When he finally put it together, he gave it a twist. Then he twisted it again. And then he found out something super cool, but also a little annoying. He couldn't easily get it back to how it started. All the colored sides were mixed up like crazy. This puzzle he made by accident was super interesting to him. He knew right away he had made something really big, way more than just a learning tool for his class. So this colorful cube wasn't meant to be a toy at first. Erno Rubik first wanted to help his students. He taught how to design buildings and things, remember? He wanted them to understand 3D shapes better and how they fit together. How can things move and change next to each other? How do the parts inside actually work? The cube was a perfect, hands-on way to show these tricky ideas. It was like a moving statue, a real hands-on lesson about shapes for everyone to try. The cube travels the world. Erno Rubik knew he had something special. He decided to get a patent for his magic cube, or buvos koka. That's what they called it in Hungary in 1975. But getting it made wasn't easy at first. Back then, it was a bit harder for Hungary to share things with other countries. This made it tricky to sell things to other countries. The first cubes were made in small amounts by a local plastic company. They started showing up in toy stores in Budapest around late 1977. People there loved them, but the rest of the world didn't know about this amazing invention yet. The cube needed someone special to help it travel outside of Hungary. That someone turned out to be Tibor Laci. He was born in Germany but was Hungarian, and he sold games. He found the cube when he was in Hungary for work. He was hooked by how challenging it was and thought it could be a big hit everywhere. He was super excited and took a cube to a big toy show in Germany in early 1979. He really wanted to show it to toy companies from all over the world. This was a huge step. Imagine how exciting that was. At that same toy show, another important person came along, Tom Creamer. He was a famous toy expert from Britain, and he was also born in Hungary, which probably helped them connect. Kremer worked for a big company called Ideal Toy Company. He loved how simple the cube looked, but how super hard it was. Ideal Toy Company, a big American toy maker, said they would sell the cube all over the world. They decided to call it the Rubik's Cube, after the guy who made it. That name stuck, of course, and it helped everyone know who Erno Rubik was. The Rubik's Cube officially came out for the whole world in 1980. And wow, it was a big deal. It got super popular super fast, like a huge craze. It felt like everyone wanted one. Millions and millions of cubes were sold in just a couple of years. It was a giant fad all over the world. You saw the Rubik's Cube everywhere, at home, at school, on buses, at work. People were always twisting those colorful sides, trying super hard to solve it. It was for sure the biggest toy of that whole time period. What an amazing story. The Rubik's Cube wasn't just a popular toy. It quickly became a really famous symbol of the 1980s. You started seeing it in movies, TV shows, and even music videos. Tons of books and guides came out, all saying they knew the secret to solving it. The cube started to mean being smart, not giving up, and loving a good puzzle. It was actually cool to have a Rubik's Cube and try to figure it out. It was a bright symbol of a confusing, puzzling, and exciting new world with lots of technology. Amazing, right? Besides being fun and a bit frustrating, the cube also taught people a lot, and it still does. First off, it teaches you to be patient, really patient. It also helps you get better at thinking about shapes and space. When you try to solve it, you learn to think a few moves ahead. You have to plan your moves and picture what will happen. It's a great tool for learning about STEM. That's science, technology, engineering, and math. It really makes your brain work hard and think in new ways. What a great brain exercise for everyone. Soon people didn't just want to solve the cube, they wanted to solve it faster and faster. This urge to compete started something called speed cubing. The very first official Rubik's Cube World Championship was held in Erno Rubik's hometown Budapest. This big event happened in June 1982. A young student from America named Min Tai became the first world champion. He solved the cube in an amazing 22.95 seconds. That was super fast back then. People watching were totally amazed by how good and fast he was. Now, speed cubing is a huge official sport. There are contests all over the world run by the World Cube Association. The records people are setting now are unbelievable. The world record for solving a normal 3x3x3 cube is less than an incredible 4 seconds. And there's more. Super skilled people solve cubes with their eyes closed, just using their memory. Others solve them with only one hand, or even, get this, with their feet. Can you believe how much practice and skill that takes? So, why is the Rubik's Cube still so super popular after all this time? It's been many years since it first came out. One big reason is that it's a really good challenge. It looks easy, just 6 colors on 6 sides. But did you know there are over 43 quintillion ways to mix it up? That's a 43 with 18 zeros after it. So many. Solving it even one time makes you feel really good and proud. It's a great feeling to beat something so tricky. The cube also brings people together. All kinds of people share their tips, tricks, and ways to solve it. There are tons of websites and videos online to help you get good at the cube. You can learn different ways, from easy ways for beginners to super fast ways for experts. These are special sets of moves to fix certain mixed up patterns. Local cubing clubs often get together to share their love for the cube. It connects people who love a good puzzle and a fun challenge. How cool is it to share that? The Rubik's Cube itself hasn't stayed the same. It keeps changing. Now there are much bigger cubes, like the 4x4x4 or the really hard 7x7x7. There are also twisty puzzles in totally different shapes, like pyramids or ones with 12 sides. New cubes are made to turn smoother and faster, sometimes with magnets inside to help. These new ideas help speed cubers go even faster. They keep coming up with new things, which keeps it fun and exciting for everyone who loves it. So it's clear the Rubik's Cube is way more than just a quick trend from the 1980s. It's really earned its spot as a classic puzzle that never gets old. It's super easy to pick up and start twisting. Gap 2S. Yet, it's incredibly hard to get really good at. It makes your brain think, tests your patience, and helps you get better at solving problems. It's a perfect example of a great design that lasts. Easy to understand, but super complex. That's exactly why people, young and old, all over the world, still love the fun challenge it gives. The twisty story of the Rubik's Cube definitely keeps going. Awesome.